Hello everyone, Silently here. Welcome to another Bugrock of the Week episode. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about how the spawning algorithm and how mobs choose where to spawn is completely broken at the moment. This is a rather annoying bug, but also kind of useful at the same time. So we'll check that out in a minute, and this isn't going to be my main coverage on the spawning algorithm of Bedrock, because of course, as you guys know, the spawning algorithm on Bedrock Edition is, it's got some major problems. I'll cover the main problems with that in a whole separate video, because that is going to be a fun one. But if you guys did not see the last episode of Bugrock of the Week, I show off a very simple and easy way to capture and easily kill a wither pretty much anywhere in the entire world. It's honestly kind of funny how bad and how wimpy they are. So if you want to kill some withers in a super easy way or just make fun of them, capture them in like a slime block cage, totally check out that video. And without further ado, let's hop into this Bugrock of the Week. Before I show you what's wrong with Bedrock Edition, I have to tell you how the algorithm should work. So to keep it nice and short and simple, basically when mobs spawn, as long as they have all the right parameters, they will do a block check for the block underneath them to make sure that, you know, it's actually a spawnable block and it's the same thing that they should be spawning on. So for instance, passive mobs like animals will do a block check, and if there is not a grass block where they have chosen to spawn, then they will abort the spawn and not spawn. So for instance, this grass block right here is perfectly fine for little piggies and other kinds of animals to spawn on, and that is perfectly fine. However, this block of stone over here, which is more or less exactly the same, except it's stone, will never spawn a passive animal, or at least that is how it should be. It is not a valid spot for these passive animals to spawn. So that little block check where they actually check for the block beneath them does not actually exist in Minecraft Bedrock Edition 1.8 or 1.8.1 or anything like that. And this isn't just for passive animals, this actually goes for hostiles as well. So if this were a river biome and it was dark enough, drowns would actually spawn just like on land, not even like in water, whereas they should always require a block of water to spawn in. And that goes for guardians as well. So guardians don't do a water check either, so they just kind of spawn like midair. And it's really kind of funny. So thanks to my super flat void world actually being corrupted, I happen to have the perfect testing area for this. This is a little bit of plains biome in the middle of a perfect perimeter. So we can actually see these animals spawn super quickly. And as you can see, we got a couple piggies running around. And if we switch this out for stone, you can see that the passive animals will still actually spawn. So we can get rid of those guys by teleporting them into the void. And as you can see, we got ourselves some chickens over there now. So pretty broken, right? So you can actually find yourself like cows and pigs and chickens in caves and in cave systems, or you can find them on top of your giant skyscrapers, or maybe on top of your giant boat that you built floating midair. And yeah, it's really kind of broken. So it's not just stone either. It's like literally any solid block that normal things can spawn on. Passive animals can spawn on as well. So this doesn't really help anything. In fact, this actually quite hurts a lot of things, because not only do passive animals need light level to despawn, they also need like a very large area to despawn as well. So what's likely happening is that your world is getting filled up with a ton of passive animals and all of the cave systems that you've lit up, meaning that you're not going to get any passive animals anywhere on the surface. And those passive animals in those caves are not going to go away. Like, they just don't despawn. If we could get some despawning on the Bedrock Edition of Minecraft, that would be fantastic, because this really breaks like a lot of things. Like, passive animals is a pretty major part of survival gameplay. And we can even do a little demonstration with drowns. So I just used a little bit of cheeky world edit to turn this entire area into a river biome. If we set it to midnight, we should see a couple hostile mobs and drowns primarily spawn in here. And of course there is no water whatsoever, so they'll just spawn in air, and they'll be carrying like the tridents and all the things. Now, because the spawning algorithm is so slow, it takes a while, but there you go. As you can see, we got like 4 drowns in one. And we might see a couple more. Yep, just drowns, just sitting there. We can teleport those guys away, and we'll probably see some more spawn as well. In fact, it seems like the only thing that's spawning in this entire area is drowns. So that shows a pretty heavy weight towards drown spawns, because of course, you know, other hostile mobs should be able to spawn as well. Weird. Weird. So if you want to make a perfect drown farm, I guess you can just clear out like a river biome and you'll have like a ton of drown spawn, as you can see. Of course, you'll need to do a whole bunch of other spawn proofing, but yeah, this is pretty much like all you really need to do for a drown farm. Very, very broken. So this also has an effect on guardian farms because now guardians don't require any water to spawn. As you can see, this guy just popped out of existence and so did these guys over here. Like, they'll actually spawn mid-air. If we remove this entire temple, we would actually see them just fall from the sky and just fall to their death, basically. And you can actually make a farm out of that. You can actually get pretty decent rates because they're not alive for super long, but it's still not quite as good as just the straight to the nether ideal. And of course you wouldn't want to make a farm out of them falling to their death because they spawn mid-air, because this is likely going to get fixed hopefully sometime soon. This seems like the kind of issue where they would go ahead and do a little bit of a hotfix for in the next update. But then again, they didn't do a hotfix for players falling from the sky, so we might be stuck with this for months. Who even knows, but it's kind of funny to watch all these guys bounce around. So here's a properly built up guardian farm. I have just removed all of the water from the spawning spots, of course, and as you can see, there are still guardians spawning in this thing. So there's one over there, and we might catch a few more. There's some, yeah, there's just tons of popping in and out, and they do actually occasionally flop into the nether as well, allowing for even more to spawn. But it's not very efficient, of course. It's still like good to have the water there to push them into the nether portals. But this is clearly very, very broken. These guys are fish out of water. Silly, silly fishes out of water. So there's not really too much more to say about this bug besides that it's very annoying and definitely needs to be fixed in the next update. And that it's probably kind of breaking your worlds with all of them there cave cows. So you might want to avoid the areas that you prefer to hunt, you know, passive animals, because they're just all going to spawn in the caves. And that's kind of gonna ruin everything. You might have to start hunting animals in the cave systems. That's going to be very annoying and very tedious. So this bug report is going to be linked down below. Definitely vote on the bug report because voting on the bug reports does actually make a difference. In fact, one of our bug rocks of the week has actually already been scheduled to be fixed in a future update, and that is the crafting bug, where you lose a whole bunch of items from crafting. So voting on the bug reports does do something. Go and vote on the bug report. It takes you like 1 minute, helps the game be a lot better in the future and a lot better to play and just better for everyone. And I would certainly appreciate it. But that is going to do it for this bug rock of the week, everyone. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, leave a like. Let me know your thoughts about this bug in the comment section down below and maybe consider subscribing. But I'll see you guys all down in the comment section and in the next one. And then there was silence.